What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another video. Sorry. Definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push your post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. What is this? I think I got dry skin. All right. Anyways, you guys, so I just kind of wanted to come on here and update you guys as always, let you guys know what's going on in the world of stimulus. So it says the IRS has been busy over the last few weeks with mailing out the third round of stimulus checks and depositing millions of $1,400 payments into qualifying recipients' bank accounts. So far, the federal agency has made impressive headway on the distribution of these funds. At the end of March, nearly 130 million Americans had received or were in line to receive their direct stimulus payments. But while millions of lucky recipients have gotten their checks, we know that there are several who have not. So they've listed some reasons as to why you may not have gotten your check. Your payment hasn't been sent out yet. It says the third round of stimulus checks is being sent out in batches. And as with other rounds of stimulus payments made via direct deposit to bank accounts on file with the IRS are prioritized. That said, the IRS has also been mailing out paper checks and debit cards with each batch of direct deposit payments, and it will continue to mail them out in the coming weeks. If your bank account information was not on file with the IRS, chances are good that you are going to have to wait slightly longer to receive a paper check or a prepaid debit card, which will have to go through the USPS before it hits your mailbox. This can add, obviously, some significant delays to the time it takes for you to receive your payments, okay? Second choice will be maybe you receive SSI or SSDI or other benefit payments, okay? There are nearly 30 million, or there were 30 million beneficiaries of Social Security or Veterans Affairs and Railroad Retirement Board who have not received their third stimulus checks. These payments will be sent out soon, according to the Social Security. So you guys know that they recently updated and presented guidance to let you guys know when you're going to be receiving your benefits. It says the IRS announced on March 30th that it will begin to issue economic impact payments this weekend. So Social Security and SSI recipients, I believe that they are supposed to be starting depositing some of that as of today, which is the 2nd of April. So you guys may even see this popping up on your Direct Express cards as soon as today, tomorrow, or Sunday. But definitely by the 7th of April, we should see some headway with those of you who are receiving Social Security, veterans, and any of those other supplemental government payments. Okay, the money was deposited into the wrong account. I'm sorry. As with the first two rounds of stimulus money, there have been reports with this round of money being deposited into the wrong bank accounts. If you have outdated banking information on file with the IRS, or if a clerical error caused your last stimulus payment to be deposited to the wrong account, you could be facing an additional delay due to the money being deposited into that account. Same goes if you recently switched bank accounts. If you recently changed banks, the IRS won't have your updated banking information on file. Generally, what happens in those situations, let's say your money was deposited into an account that's closed, it will definitely get rejected by that bank, and then they will send it back to the IRS, and then the IRS will definitely just mail you out a paper check or a debit card, okay? If you've moved or changed addresses, the housing market is booming right now. People are buying properties or just moving, renting, whatever it is. As if the IRS has indeed sent your paper check or debit card to the old address, the check will need to be reissued. Okay, you guys know if they send it to the wrong address, then I know you can start a payment trace. They will try to figure out where that check has gone. Once they've received confirmation that you indeed don't have that check, then they will reissue you another one, hopefully to your updated account. You don't qualify. The income changes, the income threshold changed with this round of stimulus. To qualify for the third stimulus check, you guys know, for $80,000 for single, $160,000 for couples filing jointly, okay? But that could be a reason. Debt collectors garnishing the money for an unpaid bill, and then finally, you didn't file your taxes. So if you haven't filed your 2019 or 2020 taxes, the only real solution right now for getting the third stimulus payment is to file your 2020 taxes as soon as possible. If the IRS processes your return in time, you may get a third stimulus check in the mail. If not, you will likely be able to claim a credit for the third stimulus check on your 2021 taxes, okay? So how to track your stimulus payment. The good news is that in many cases, the third stimulus payment may still be received, okay? On the way, if you haven't received it. If you're still waiting on your money, you can keep an eye out for mail, for a paper check or debit card. So you guys know that you can sign up for informed delivery by USPS to track your payments if you're expecting a mailed check or debit card, okay? You can also initiate a payment trace, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So that's the only information that I have on that right now. Hold on. Now, says the IRS said another batch of stimulus checks from the recently passed pandemic relief bill have started arriving in bank accounts, okay? For Social Security and other federal beneficiaries who did not file 2019-2020 tax returns will be processed starting Friday, which is today, and arrive next week. So it's a possibility, depending on your individual circumstances. I'm not really familiar with how Social Security works. If you have the Direct Express card, I'm pretty sure that if they did initiate a transfer today on Friday, you most likely won't see that until next week, most likely on the 7th, okay? But I don't know if you guys are if you have the option to receive your Social Security benefits direct deposit into a bank account, depending on the banking institution that you work with, there's a possibility that you may have your funds released earlier than that, like they were doing with the people who don't have these benefits, who were getting their bank account, their stimulus payments direct deposited into certain types of bank accounts, okay? Says this new batch also includes the first group of supplemental payments for people who may have gotten a partial payment in March based on their 2019 tax returns, but are actually due more because of an income change reported on their 2020 tax returns. These plus-up payments could include a situation where a person's income dropped in 2020 compared to 2019, or a person had a new child or dependent on their 2020 tax returns, and other situations, the IRS said, okay? Definitely good news. I'm definitely loving all the movement that they're making. Now, in terms of initiating a trace, it says the IRS urges people to remember that the third stimulus payments are still being processed for millions of people and can be tracked by the Get My Payment tool on its website. Okay, the IRS states that 5 days should be allowed for direct deposit to arrive, 4 weeks for a standard U.S. address, 6 weeks for a forwarded address, and 9 weeks for a check to arrive at a foreign address. Let me say this again. So if you guys are within any one of these categories, the IRS is saying give it 5 days to show up in your account if you're receiving it by direct deposit. 4 weeks for a standard U.S. address, meaning if you're having it mailed to your home with no problems. 6 weeks if you're having it forwarded to another address. And 9 weeks for a check to arrive at a foreign address, okay? So 6 weeks for a forwarded address, 9 weeks for a foreign address, okay? A payment trace can also be launched if you received a letter from the IRS confirming your payment. So if you received the letter from the IRS before you actually get your check, then you can call them to initiate a payment trace. The letter, known as Notice 1444, your economic impact payment, should generally arrive about 15 days after you receive, or you're supposed to receive, your $1,400 payment check. Okay, in order for a payment trace to be launched, the IRS can be called on, listen, 800-919-9835. Again, 800-919-9835. This is only if you have received your notification, your letter known as the 1444 economic impact payment notification, which you should get 15 days after you receive your check, okay? People still searching for their payment can also mail or fax a completed Form 3911 taxpayer statement regarding refund to the IRS. You should not mail the Form 3911 if you've already requested a trace by phone. So you can't do both. Don't try to do both. You're either going to have to do one or another, okay? I think that's it. Any additional information that you guys need, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to give it to you when you call that number. Okay. It says if you had not issued the check, if you had not issued the if you have not received the check, somebody wrote this wrong, but if you have not received the check that was supposed to be issued to you, the IRS will definitely send you a replacement, okay? If the check was cash, you will receive a claim package from the Bureau of the Fiscal Service. To guard against stimulus check fraud, it will review your claim and the signature on the canceled check before deciding if it will issue a payment, okay? So definitely look into that, you guys, if you guys fall into any of these situations. All right. Now, in terms of stimulus check, when it comes to private debt collectors, it says at least 6 states are moving to shield the most recent round of stimulus payments from private debt collectors. So you guys know that private debt collectors still have the ability to garnish your checks. Now, if you owe taxes, they weren't taking any of your money for any taxes that you owed. Hold on, you guys. Ooh, mouth is dry. However, we have 6 states that are stepping in and saying we're going to protect our citizens and we're going to make sure that their checks are not garnished, which I believe that they should have. Again, this is something else that they should have added in when they were going through their whole budget reconciliation process, but they weren't paying attention to that. People need their money. They can't afford to pay these bills right now. Otherwise, they wouldn't need the stimulus checks in the first place. So with these private debt collectors coming in, they don't care about whether a person is down and out, whether a person is on their last $5, can't afford to buy a gallon of milk. They just want to get their money and get on, and I would think that the IRS would understand that, because we all know that if you owe the IRS money, it definitely isn't going to take that, as long as it's taken for them to distribute these payments, it's not going to take that long for them to put an order in place and get the money taken from you. But anyways, governors in Maryland, New Jersey, and Washington, as well as state attorney generals in Massachusetts, Nebraska, and New York have taken action in the past few weeks to make sure their most vulnerable residents will receive their money, which can amount to up to $1,400 per person. But many of the more than 127 million payments that have already been sent by the Internal Revenue Service remains open to seizure in dozens of other states. So these states have stepped up for you guys. You guys should be praising whoever you praise. If you don't praise anybody, then saying thank you, because Maryland, New Jersey, Washington, Massachusetts, Nebraska, and New York have all stepped up and made it possible so that you guys should be able to receive the full amount of your stimulus checks without it being garnished by even the private debt collectors, okay? Recipients with unpaid credit card or medical bills for which a company has obtained a judgment against the debtor could see the fresh infusion taken from their bank accounts, potentially preventing those in need from getting the emergency cash, okay? Lawmakers shielded the $600 payments that were approved in the stimulus package that came out in December, but the latest package did not include the protection because of the procedural rules Democrats used to push the bill through Senate. So, I mean, they're saying right here pretty much that because of the way that they pushed this bill through, and I'm assuming they're talking about the budget reconciliation process, because they used the budget reconciliation process, they were just trying to get this money out there to the economy. And I do get that. You know what I mean? You got to take the good sometimes with the bad. That's how things balances out in life. So because they used that process, they weren't unable to issue these or have these protections be included in this bill. All right. So again, they had to do what they had to do. So, I mean, a separate bill introduced in the Senate a week later by Democrats, Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio, Ron Wyden of Oregon, and Bob Menendez of New Jersey would have fixed that problem. But as we know, after Republicans blocked the measure from passing by unanimous consent, the bill was not brought to the floor for a full vote. So they did try to go back and fix their error by drafting up a bill or piece of legislation afterwards, but it was blocked by the Senate. They said no companion bill has been issued in the House. The relief bill passed in last March, known as the CARES Act, also failed to include language protecting the first round of stimulus payments worth up to $1,200 from private debt collectors. So unfortunately for everybody else, including myself, who are not in those 6 states that I have just mentioned, there's still a possibility that if you have any private debt from either unpaid credit card bills or medical bills, that they may be coming for that money. So I suggest you use it as quickly as possible, or don't put it in your bank account. But you didn't hear that from me. um, and lastly, we've got some, I don't even know if you can consider this to be some good news. You know, we know that Biden has been actively considering canceling student loan debt of up to $50,000. Originally, when he came out with this idea, when he spoke about this idea, he said that he did not want to cancel any student debt or student loans or whatever, student loan debt, through executive orders. He wanted bipartisan support, meaning he wanted the Democrats and the Republicans to work together to get this accomplished. But since that there was no sign of that happening, he stood firm on, I'm not going to be writing any executive orders. It seems like he may have changed his mind. The Biden administration on Thursday indicated that the president is actively considering whether to enact widespread student loan forgiveness of up to $50,000, but no decision has yet been made. Okay, so it's a possibility. It's a possibility. It says separately last month, President Biden also directed the Department of Justice to evaluate his authority to enact widespread student loan forgiveness. Student loan borrower activists, advocacy organizations, and Democratic lawmakers have been mounting on ongoing pressure campaign for months to convince President Biden to cancel student debt through executive action. So it looks like he may be considering it. I mean, we still don't have any for sure concrete answer from our president right now. I think he's probably going to hold out to the very last minute and see what's going to be the benefit for all those that are involved. I mean, I know I could stand to definitely benefit because, honey, let me tell you something. That bachelor's degree in science that I just received, woo, it wasn't cheap. Lord knows it wasn't cheap. But on that note, you guys, I hope this information was in some way helpful or useful. Oh, one other quick tip for the stimulus checks. For those of you who have a mail out date for stimulus checks, for the third stimulus check, saying that it's going to be mailed out on March 26th, or it should have been mailed out on March 26th. They have also issued, I would say, some additional guidance stating that there's a possibility that you could also receive that check. Hopefully, they're hoping that you receive the check or the debit card, whichever one you're receiving, by April 7th. So we've got Social Security and railroad benefits and all of that that's supposed to be deposited starting April 7th. And there's a possibility that people who are scheduled to receive their stimulus payments on March 26th, mailed out on March 26th, should receive those in the mail by April 7th. Okay. As far as I know, I don't think the United States United States Postal Service is actually closed today for Good Friday. I did actually see an article that was talking about that. I do not think that they are closed today. Let me just double check, but I don't think that they are closed today. So, yep, I have it right here at the top. FedEx will have modified service for FedEx Express and FedEx Freight, but otherwise will have full service on Good Friday. Okay. However, FedEx will have limited service on Easter Sunday. Okay. Now for the United States Postal Service, the United States Postal Service will be fully open on Good Friday. There are no postal holidays in March or April. UPS pickup and delivery services are available on Good Friday. According to the UPS website, delivery times for UPS Next Day Air Early and UPS Worldwide Express Plus into the U.S. will be extended by 90 minutes. Additionally, delivery times for UPS Next Day Air and UPS Worldwide Express into the U.S. will be extended to the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. on the guaranteed day of delivery. Okay, so it looks like everybody is going to be open today, so hopefully there's no delays. I know that I'm still waiting. I'm in that batch. I was supposed to have my stimulus check mailed out on the 26th of March, so I'm hoping that I receive it next week. If any of you guys would have that same date where it was supposed to be mailed out on March 26th, definitely let us know in the comment section below if you guys have already received your stimulus checks. On that note, you guys remember to live, love, and elevate. As you can hear, I'm still congested, you guys. I'm working on it. I'm drinking my water. I'm staying rested. I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to live, love, and elevate. And I will see you again, repeating myself for the 15 millionth time, in the next video.